Hello everyone, welcome to Atubu Concepts. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to create skirt block. Before we go to the drafting table, don't you think it's necessary for me to quickly show you how to take proper measurement to create this skirt block? And again, as a beginner, do you know how to take measurement to create skirt block? If you don't, come with me, let me quickly show you this before we go to the drafting table. Come, let's go. This is my dress form. Because I'm going to be working with my dress form on a regular basis, so I need a skirt block for it. And again, I'm going to use my dress form measurement in this tutorial today. So, we have 4 measurements that we are going to take. The number one is the waist circumference. How do you take this waist circumference? You bring your tape, put it around the innermost part of your waist. That's the natural waistline, like this, all round. So my dress form waist circumference is 28. Whatever you have in yours, please write it down, because you are going to need it when we are drafting the skirt block. Number 2 is the hip vertical measurement. How do you take this hip vertical measurement? You bring your tape, put it at your waistline, you bring it down to the fullest part of your hip, the part that is bulging out. Yes, my dress form vertical hip measurement is 8. So from your waistline to the hip level, whatever you get in between, please write it down. Mine is 8. So number 3, hip circumference. How do you take this hip circumference? I already know where to take my hip circumference, because from here to here, the fullest part is 8. So I'm going to put my tape around that 8. Put your tape around the fullest part of your hip, like this. So whatever you get, write it down. Mine is 38. Number 4 is the full length of the skirt. How do you take this measurement? You bring your tape, put it at the waistline. You bring it down to any length that you choose to use. I don't want it too short. I don't want it too long. Whatever measurement that you want, you go for it. Mine is 25. I think that's the 4 measurement that we need to create this skirt block. So now let's go to the drafting table. These are the tools that I'm going to be using to create this skirt block today. Here I have straight rulers, French curve, pair of scissors, pen and the writing pad to put down my measurement, sellotape to stick the paper down, marker, pencil and eraser. I encourage you to use pencil to do your drafting. When you make mistake along the line, have eraser by your side to always erase and continue. I have my measuring tape, of course my hard copy pattern paper. That's it. Because we are creating block today, I'm using the hard pattern paper. I'm going to be using marker for this tutorial today because I want you to see the line that I'm going to be drafting vividly. If not, I would have also used pencil to do the drafting. The measuring tape and the rulers carry the same numbers. They are both the same. Please follow every step that I'm going to take here and do the same with your skirt measurement or someone else's measurement. I'll be using inches for this tutorial today. We are going to work with 2 measurements, the vertical measurement and the horizontal measurement. The vertical measurement are the measurement coming from up straight down, while the horizontal measurement are the measurement going across. These are the 2 block paper, 1 part for the back and 1 part for the front. I'm using half part of the back and half part of the front to create this skirt block. I'm going to keep the back part aside for later. Then we are going to start with the front. I'm creating a start line just an inch away from the beginning of the block paper. This line is our starting point line. And this is the line that we are going to take our waist circumference measurement from. Number 1, waist circumference. The waist circumference I have here is 28 inches. And I'm dividing it by 4. Because we are using 1/4 of the block. Then I will have 7, and this is the 7. And I'm going to go ahead and add 1 inch to the 7 for that allowance, the dart that is going to be here later. Then 7 plus 1 inch, that will be 8. And I'm not going to add any ease allowance to the waist area because we want our skirt band to be tight fitted to our waist. So I'm going to mark it here. Number 2, the waist vertical measurement. The waist vertical measurement I have here is 8. I am going to measure 8 from the waistline. Put my ruler at this waistline here. Then bring it down to 8. Like this. And I'm going to bring this to the extreme end of the block paper and mark the same 8. Why? To enable me get accurate horizontal line. Number 3, the hip circumference. The hip circumference I have here is 38 inches. When I divide 38 inches by 4, I will have 9.5 inches. Then I'm going to go ahead and add half an inch for ease allowance because we don't want our skirt to be glued to our body. So then I'm going to mark 10. Number 4, the full length of the skirt that we are going to create. The full length I have here is 25, and I'm going to put my ruler at the waistline. I'll measure down to 25. 25 is right here. Then I'm going to bring this ruler to the extreme end and mark the same 25 to enable me get accurate horizontal line like that. Then I'm going to roll across. The next step is to label our lines to know which is which as we go further. This is the waistline line, the hip line, the hem, line. Then this straight line here is the center front. Next is to create the dart. We are still using the nipple to nipple measurement to create the dart because the dart is still coming from the upper part, that is the nipple point line, then past the waistline. So the nipple to nipple measurement that I'm going to be using is 7 inches. When I divide 7 inches by 2, I will have 3.5. Take your nipple measurement from one nipple to the other. Whatever you get in between, divide into 2 and use one part to create your dart. Now I'm going to measure 3.5 from the waistline. Then I'm using 4 to create the length of the dart, taken from this point here. The 1 inch that we added to the waistline earlier, we are going to use it now. That 1 inch, we divide it, half an inch on this side, half an inch on this side. Like this. Mark. The next step is to create our proper waistline. To create our proper waistline, I'm going to step up this 8th point with 3/4 of an inch. Like this. So I'm going to connect this point now to this point here with a French curve. Then I'm going to finish this dart up with something like a triangle here to be able to hold our dart in properly. To do that, you have to extend the center line with half an inch. And you connect this point to this point to this point. Before we connect this point to this point, we are going to take this measurement, which is 10 inches. And use it to take the shape of the skirt block at the hem line. So I'm going to connect this point to this point with a French curve. Then I'll connect this point to this point with a straight ruler. Like this. You can also use this skirt block for a pencil skirt block. How do you do that? This hem line, you reduce it with 2 inches. Then you come to the hip point here. Then you step this side seam line with 1 inch. Like this. Then you connect this point to this point. Then this line will now be the pencil skirt line. If you want to use this straight skirt block as a pencil skirt block, all you need to do is fold this line backwards. I will show you how to do it when I cut it out. Yes, this line now is the pencil skirt line. Then this one is the straight skirt line. I just want to label the 2 lines so that you know which is which. Whenever you want to create a pencil skirt or a straight skirt, no longer need this line. This is our new line now. I think I'm done with the front block. The next thing I'm going to do is to trim the edges out. I'm going to use this front block to give the back block the same exact shape like we have in the front. I'm going to transfer this line to the back line. I push the front block forward a little bit. Then I'll mark it like this. Then shift the front block back a little bit, then mark. Then I'll connect this point to this point. Then I'm going to still measure 3.5 inches from this center back. I'll mark. The front dart is 4, then I'm going to mark the back dart 4.5, like this. It's 4.5. I'm going to extend the line to this triangle point here. I'm going to give 1/2 inch on both sides like the front. I've got like this, then like that. Connect this point to this point, this point to this point. This pencil line, I'm still going to bring it to the back. I'm going to bring this hem line back by 2 inches like this. I'm going to step the hip point down by the side seam by 1 inch. Like that. And I'll connect this point to this point. To finish the back block up, we are going to separate the zip allowance from the main body by drafting a straight line along this folded line here. This is the zip allowance. I think that's all about the back block. This is the back block and this is the front. The difference between the front block and the back block is that the back dart is a little bit longer than the front dart with 1/2 inch. And the back block is with the zip allowance. That's the only difference between the back block and the front block, and every other measurements are the same. You can use this skirt block for 3 different types of skirt block: straight skirt block, pencil skirt block, and A-line skirt block. This is how you create A-line skirt block from this particular straight skirt. Add the same piece to the back block as well. You can have it like this as a straight skirt block. You can also have it like this as a pencil block. You can also have it like this as A-line skirt block. I think that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give me thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, please try and do so, because I don't want you to miss out in any of my teachings. There are loads of teachings that are going to be coming on this channel that I want you to be part of. Yes. And again, if you have any question that you want to ask me, don't forget to leave that question at the comment section below. I will be more than glad to answer any of your questions. Yes. Please help share this video with others. so that they can know how to create skirt block properly. There are other videos on this channel that you can still watch. See you in my next video. God bless you. Bye bye.